Hello and welcome to another post, and in this post I'm going to speak on issue of preference shares. Now preference share is just another class of shares that can be issued under the Indian Companies Act. Now this type of preference shares, this type of class has two preferential points. Like first, they have payment of dividend, so the dividend amount whichever is fixed at the time of issue has to be paid to them at that rate every year. The second is they have preferential treatment at the time of if the company is not in good shape. So at the time of winding up, the first repayment of the face value and the full amount has to be done to the preference shareholders. Then comes whatever is left goes to the equity shareholders. So these are the two major points that differentiate equity shareholders with the preference shareholders. Now there are three major points, standard points under the Companies Act that need to be remembered by any person who wants or thinks of doing issue of preference shares. The first is that your articles of association needs to authorize you to issue preference shares. If your articles is not having that authority, has not issued that authority, you cannot issue. The second point, no preference shares in India under the Indian Companies Act can be issued irredeemable, which means कि every preference share or any modified class of preference share needs to have a tenure. So irredeemable preference shares cannot be issued. Now when it comes to tenure, not more than 20 years can be the tenure for any class of preference shares. However, if it is in specific for an objective or funding in regard to this is for infrastructure project, it can go about 20 years. So these are the three major points that one needs to remember before thinking of an issue of a preference shares. Articles need to authorize, no irredeemable preference shares allowed, and third, not more than 20 years unless it is an infrastructure project. Now when we go into the procedural angle for issue of preference shares, first you will have to have a board meeting in place in which the directors will pass a resolution for issue of preference shares. Then comes your extraordinary general meetings. Now in the explanatory statement and the notice that goes for all the existing equity shareholders who will pass this resolution in the extraordinary general meeting, you need to give them proper valuation price, the method under which the valuation is done, the objective why you are issuing this preference shares, the terms of issue, the tenure, the rate at which the dividend is going to be given out, and various other factors which are major terms for this preference shares. Then the resolution is passed in the extraordinary general meeting and you are ready and you have got the authority of the equity shareholders. Then you need to do the paperwork. You have to file that because it's a special resolution that is passed in the extraordinary general meeting. You need to file MGT 14 with ROC and then have a board meeting in place. Once all you have received all the allotment money and all, you need to have a board meeting and make a resolution for the allotment and file PS3 with ROC. Once you're done with that, you have to pay the stamp duty and issue the share certificate. Maintain your register under the Companies Act that needs to be maintained for such issue of preference shares. That's all under issue of preference shares under the Companies Act. Thank you.